Alright, so got the van all packed up and just about ready to go. Computer broke again, so gotta get that fixed. So that's why I haven't had any videos out. And again, because I haven't done anything super crazy fun other than the van stuff, which actually even that's been slowing down because work got really busy. Well, not really busy, timeline of stuff for getting ready for this trip happened. But anyways. Alright, so projects continue. Alright, I don't know where to begin. I've been really busy. So we got the van, and there's a lot to do with this. You can kind of almost get an idea of like finishy product. You know, the purple. This is going to get changed a little bit because I got to sand it and seal it up with some linseed oil. Excuse me. But bigger project is this tire. And this actually lives in a whole thing underneath the van, but about here-ish is a little screw mechanism that releases it. And I thought about drilling a hole here, and I just knew it was going to catch stuff and be a problem and break and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't do that. Instead, I decided to mount it up here, directly over this tire to get up more weight for snow, and using these beefier oak pieces to also give it more weight. So that's what me and my dollar store compass are up against. That massive gap does a weird jiggy thing, because up here everything is nice and smooth and square-ish. So yeah, I'm hoping this lovely dollar store compass that doesn't really lock in will be the magic I'm looking for. It's worth doing. It's worth. Just try that again. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing over and over and over again. Like 4 of them. I was hoping I could find the most intersecting pattern and then maybe highlight that one, which seems to be the middle-ish one, and get the closest count one. And this is the smaller gap. The other side is... Well, does it fit? Actually, I can live with it. It's not bad. I mean, it's not perfect. I have to admit, if I was doing this for a client, I'd probably try to sand, and I still might. I'll try to sand and feather this down so everything comes in a little tighter. But I don't want everything fitting super tight on things because the fan's going to move and rock and things, and it's going to make twisty, creaky noises. So I want to try to avoid that. But now the next trick is to go back here, just mark that line and cut that. And I might even have enough to do both sides. That'd be great, except I'll have to still throw around one of these full sheets for the front and the top. Lucky me. It's pretty much making like what they use as a wash in like theatrical carpentry. It's really just watered paint. But if you really water it down, it works kind of like a stain. Everything's now water-based, and it really draws in the grain really well. And this is actually technically solid colored stain. But I mean, when they say solid, it is solid. It goes on like paint. And Marie wanted something that came through with the wood grain more versus just covering it all up. Yeah, this stuff is like, try to pour some in. I mean, I've been working with stains for a while. That is not stain. That is paint. So, not only does it make it a lot cheaper to do it this way, but actually try to buy stain. And if you're buying oil-based stain, cool, it's getting harder to find. I would prefer to oil-based. Well, interior kind of stinks, you don't really do. You got to use like probably linseed oil or a mineral oil to thin it out, get it to penetrate better. So, and here's the science and the magic. Did I measure it? Absolutely not. Do I know what it's like when it's there? Yeah, got it. The trick is though, everything settles to the bottom. It's like mixing up chocolate milk. The syrupy kind, not the powder shit. And yes, this container is odd to work with for what I'm doing, but it was on top of the recycling container at the time. And I figured, oh shit, I had to give it another life. Reduce, reuse, recycle. I'm definitely about reusing a lot of shit. Anyway, it worked. Alright. So kind of curious how to edit all this the past few days because I haven't really brought the camera out a whole hell of a lot. Mixture of just trying to motivate. This was not a planned thing, and I got to get things going here pretty quickly. And my allergies are really, really bad. So not only do I sound a little unlike myself, it makes me feel really weird. This constant, I got a sneeze feeling, and yeah. I don't take any drugs for it. All the ones that work make me, well, really dopey, and I don't like that. Any of you people watching this, the whole 4 of you, and maybe there's 1 or 2 of you that don't really know me or what I'm really all about, and you want to acquire some of the skills I have, find your local community theater and find the one lonely carpenter, because it's not a very sought after practice anymore, or skill, whatever, and just hang out. Be willing to try and learn and do. That's how I acquired most of these skills. I came up in a family of you know, weekend warrior worker types. My dad ran his own business, and well, when you do that, you save money everywhere you can, so you learn how to do everything. Maybe not always well, but he did pretty good. He still does, actually. He just put on this big double window off his back kind of landing mudroom thing, and it turned out great. And a bunch of other stuff too. The little patio thing that he built, I couldn't believe how well it leveled out. So anyways, I do have roots there, but what really polished up to learn more beyond that, the theater. Even if you're a person still in high school watching this, or in school in general, drama department's full of weirdos. This is true. You don't have to be those kind of weirdos. The me types of the actors and actresses, and those that want to boss people around in the production world, yeah, they're kind of assholes mostly. Not all of them, but mostly. But those that are techs, small few technicians, man, a handful of people can create a world for others. It's a really interesting profession. I don't know how they can call this stain. I realize it's called a solid stain, but my lord. And if you want to make this, and I might in the future too, more cleanable, after you put a few coats of paint on it, you can put a few coats of polyurethane or polyacrylic. I usually use polyurethane. I'm not as familiar with polyacrylic, but I do know a lot of people also use polyacrylic, and I think it's kind of similar. Huh? There's the fucking chipmunks again. This brush holds on to a lot of this paint. I guess because it's not really paint. I really like the way it flows. I did painting, well, I guess in some ways I still do, for many years. I like the 2.5 inch tapered brush for doing my cutting. The Purdy brand, which is getting harder to find for me for some reason, usually makes a really good brush. If you want to get really cutting, you gotta buy the good brushes. People are like, I don't know why I'm so bad at painting, you're so good. I'm like, well, you have a dollar store brush. I spent like sometimes like 20 bucks on a brush. It makes a difference. Like if you really got some tight stuff, like a chisel tipped one really can come in handy. Sometimes you want to cut the handles off, like right now this one's actually kind of tall. But I'll make it work, because it can also come in handy when you're a little short and you don't want to have to buck a ladder every which way. Look at that. The stuff coat's really nice. I'm not picking on the Minwax product. It's actually really nice. It just doesn't act like stain. So I got chili. I actually already had the first fire of the season officially yesterday, but I bring you along to the first fire of the day today. So what I'm doing here is this is actually no Bubby's in the way. No Bubby's in the way. Stubby is insatiable for treats. So let's give him some treats, maybe get him out of the way. Like I was saying, now you can hear him crunch in the background. This is actually paraffin wax. And I'm sure somebody out there will say, oh, that's a horrible idea for this reason or that reason. But from what I've looked into, it's not really volatile. Like if I dribble stuff around here on like kerosene or gasoline or something like that, it could actually catch a spark. Nah, it needs to have a wicking thing. The other cool thing about paraffin wax, from what I have understood, is it doesn't really leave a residue. Some people use candles. Sometimes they'll just break off candle wax. That can add to the creosote buildup in your stack. Bad things can happen. So I find that paraffin is that happy medium where it cooks really hot, and for a while you get the wood going. And that's really all the firewood I'm going to put in for right now. It's not super chilly in the house, but I don't think it's going to get warmer than the mid-50s today. So just by having this little fire, it'll cook for like 45 minutes. And the house will actually get slightly warm, for me anyways. So that light little bit of vapor coming out is letting me know I actually have a clear burn. But that also means it might be burning kind of hot. So I'm going to take another look at this. What are you doing, buddy? Before I get distracted in other things. Yeah, see, maybe you can see, but around 500 degrees is the happy zone. Anything past that is getting a little hot. Anything below that, you're making a lot of smoke. So far, I have my apprehensions about how wide it is. That's taking up pretty much this whole floor. So yeah, let's see. It's got a lot to expand yet, but it's also memory foam, at least like a little bit of it, and the rest is a more hard, dense foam. Something like that. So, yeah. You okay, Bo? You try it out. Yeah, it'll be fine. Just don't throw up on it. No guarantees on that one, though. Bubby likes it, so that's good. But on the other projects of the day, a few seasonal things I want to do. I gotta prep some stuff in the back. Tis the time for firewood. So that's one of the bigger operations of the day, but first I gotta make more room underneath all this stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna do with some of this yet. It's one of those hot potato things I don't know what to do with. But to help alleviate some of the stuff, I'm gonna get this out of here, put a roof and a floor underneath it. Over here where I've been stashing the pallets, I don't really need. I use one of the pallets as a floor. That way I can stash these a little bit more properly for the winter time. Yeah. And then figure out what to do with the rest of this stuff. The yard, it's so small, and it packs up quickly with stuff, and I've been really busy with projects. And I have to admit, I'm lazy sometimes. So, those of you that also burn wood and cut it yourselves and everything probably realize I'm cutting some of this rather small. My wood burner can actually take up to 16 or 18 inch long pieces. But sometimes it's easier just to chunk stuff like this in. It's kind of odd to split at that size. And more importantly, especially guys like this, that grain, I don't know how well you can see it and everything, it's just really hard to split when it's bigger. So when it's smaller, like this, that could probably fit in the wood burner without splitting. Or it's fairly easier to split when the grain's not running so gnarly for so long. And a lot of this wood is pretty bad. Like this guy, I mean, all the branches and gnarliness coming through, that's just really hard to split. I'm hoping by having it smaller like that, it won't be too bad. We'll find out. So the stuff at the very far back wall is probably about 3 years old, mostly hardwoods, but kind of like the stuff I'm putting here, it's very gnarly and hard to split. This stuff I just whipped over here earlier, this is mostly locust, which burns really, really hot and fast. And the remainder of stuff back there, I got some bigger stuff to clean up, which I'm not really sure what it is. And then some oak. I'm hoping this will be enough to get through the year, but I'll probably pick up at least one more truckload or a van load from my sister and brother-in-law, which actually we're going there this weekend, so perhaps I'll pick some up then. Yeah, I don't know how you can see at this goofy angle there. It actually tucks in really nice underneath here, and this roof was never roofed, it's just painted, and it was plywood, and the mushrooms are starting to get to it, but it's been like that for without a roof for like over 5 years. So right now I'm just gonna put a cheap you wannabe on this, kind of like that one, and then probably the next year or two I'll just replace both of them with a real roof. Roofing in a can. I have some other paints, but not very many exterior paints right now, and they hold up okay. And I've been experimenting because spray paint still is oil-based. It's hard to find oil-based paint. So I think just by doing this should seal it up-ish enough. And guess what? It's just free laying around the shop. I do have some roofing materials laying over there that actually be great for it, but I want to redo the roof on the Power Shack and completely kind of redo all of this a little bit different. Hopefully next year, the year-ish after that. We'll see. But for now, this was free. This is free. I see a roof. Because work got really busy. Well, not really busy. Timeline of stuff for getting ready for this trip happened. But anyways. So yeah, all packed up and ready to go. We have like the last ferry to the island today, which I wanted the earlier one, but just didn't really have one. I guess they must be bringing a bunch of supplies or something to the island because they didn't have any automobile ferry services until the last one today. So things really change when it starts to get into the autumn. The auto.
Now we are surrounded by mist.
Yeah, you definitely feel the mist out here. It's cool.